Welcome to the H series of webinars. This webinar series is aimed at new and aspiring sheep producers to give them a step up into the Queensland sheep industry. This webinar is part 3 of the series and is titled Handling Foundations, exploring the basics of working sheep efficiently and effectively with an emphasis on yard work. This webinar was delivered by renowned stock handler and dog trainer Neil McDonald on the 15th of June 2020. This is clip 4 of 8 and covers using parallel lines and finding the right position when handling sheep.
This is where a lot of people cause problems for themselves, even the way we talk. A lot of us are going to go out the paddock and we're going to round our sheep up. So that's exactly what people do. They go around livestock. And you can see just in the right-hand side of the picture, there I am waving my arms. And that's the path I've been taking, is the red line on the ground. I want the sheep to come forward to my left, but because I've gone around them in a curve, oval, banana, I'll call it a horseshoe. Once you start working around livestock in a horseshoe shape, and this can be on foot, it can be a bike, a horse, a ute, and I believe in the air. Once you start taking that pattern, instead of sheep leaving you and walking forward into a yard, they turn and face you. There's a reason for this, we'll get onto it. But we'll just show you what happens with that same mob of sheep in that same yard if you start walking straight lines. That's the green line, that's the tip. So that's the same mob of sheep. That's the ones we bought very recently. We bought them really to have subject matter at school. So that's what we need to be able to learn to do, the importance of where we position our toes, our eyes. Once again, there you are. So many people to empty that yard would have gone right into the back of the yard and probably had the dogs back there, whereas what I've got is myself and the dogs out to the side of the mob, and we're building a wall on our right, the fence on the left, so therefore these sheep are in a corridor. So you're setting up a situation where instead of them turning and running back, they all want to file forward. This can happen with big mobs, and if you're going to go educating livestock, you really need to be quite sharp or slick at doing this when you're educating them, but it's no point spending days educating them for the purpose of training them, and then next time you go to work and go back to your old-fashioned ways. You can see what's happened here. I think on this next slide in this gateway. No, that's even another one. That's probably showing there's a little pen on the left there that we get them to go in. And I'm probably more to the front of the mob than the back of the mob. And I've got a dog that's sitting there like that. And it's probably a fair chance that dog will last all day and tomorrow and for the rest of shearing, where so many dogs would be not the right breeding, not under control, and they'd be swinging from tree to tree like Tarzan, and they would have probably worn their pads off their feet by now. Okay, the next one we'll probably look at is definitely wrong position. Helen's in this yard. She does a huge job at doing this editing and supporting this. She is in the yard with a camera, and I'm trying to push the sheep onto her. So you could say, oh, maybe they don't want to go towards Helen and the camera. But if you can see where I am, and this time Helen's in the same yard with the same camera, but instead of me being at the back of the mob, I'm more up the front, I'm facing forward, and I've created a corridor for those sheep to want to lead into. So this is super, super important to learn to work livestock in this fashion. You can just have a bit of a glimpse as a dog there by my legs, and it's once again not burning its pads off, and it's working with a little bit of sanity, and yes, things are good. So that's a little bit of a brief of ways of working livestock in the yards. There's a lot of talk about yard design. You can see I've got a spring-loaded man gate. We're all getting older, and I think sheep are getting heavier. So sometimes we've got to be careful that we're not jumping over the fences all day or lifting sheep. So a lot of people talk about getting whiz-bang yard design with all these tapers and spirals and flash hairy stuff. One of the best things you can do, and we'll lead onto it, is have square rectangular yards and have plenty of spring-loaded man gates like that, so that you can slip through and get to the right position at the right time and your moment's not lost.
Thank you for watching this short clip. For more information, please visit www.leadingsheep.com.au.